being feminine is not submission to bullying. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where my coaches and I teach you beautiful swans how to present as a high value, high status, high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. If that is you, you are at the right channel, and this video must surely be for you. Okie dokie. So I have been observing, watching, and I don't like to do a lot of this because it upsets me, but you know, I have watched for a long time leaders in the manosphere, not all of them, but you know, a good chunk of them really sort of use the word femininity as a right. You know, they have a, you know, women just have to be feminine. We want feminine. We want feminine. And it's very difficult to disagree with them when you understand the need for polarity in relationships, and that, of course, masculine men want feminine women. Unfortunately, sadly, a lot of the leaders in the manosphere are feminine energy men themselves. And what ends up happening is they want femininity from a woman whilst also displaying feminine qualities within themselves. Now, you know, the true masculine man is not going to say, well, if you submit and are feminine to me, then I will provide, I will protect you, and I will cherish you. But if you're not prepared to be that way, I'm not going to be that way. This is not the position of the man that is masculine in his nature. He is going to just operate in that way, in the same way as a feminine woman is naturally going to be softer, available, receptive, more accommodating to her masculine. These are things that have sort of, you know, been kidnapped. The concepts of femininity and masculinity have been kidnapped by people with toxic perspectives and often narcissistic, controlling personalities who really just want to manipulate the femininity mindset or the idea. And really, in most of these cases, what they're requiring is that a woman tolerate all and any BS. It's so easy for us to fall into this trap, and I wasn't really going to do a video on this, and this is really not an attack on anybody, because we live in a world where people can say what they want and feel what they want, and I'm not even speaking to all the leaders of the manosphere. I'm just referring to a lot of them with a lot of influence, but certainly not all of them. Now, you know, the reality of it is I don't really pay much attention to what goes on in the digital world and all the comments, and you know, you could end up losing your mind going back and forth. However, I do start to feel concerned when I go on calls with you ladies and start to hear the impact that it's having on you, and start to see that a lot of you are in toxic relationships and attempting to be feminine in a toxic relationship or with a feminine guy. You know, I have seen a lot of you submit yourself to being bullied, you know, and really that's pretty much the long and short of it is, you know, bullying, really, being told, you know, being treated like an infant, being treated like a child, being told where to go, what to do. And God forbid you have an opinion, and God forbid you would like to do something different, then, you know, you are now not feminine, you are now masculine. If you refuse to accept, you know, a man yelling at you, then, you know, you are masculine energy. You know, if you refuse to tolerate bad behavior, disrespect in your life, then you're masculine energy, and you just need to become more feminine. And so many of us have lost our voice when able to speak up for ourselves or really make our needs and requirements known to the man that we're with, because we're afraid that to speak up and to have a voice is masculine. It's not feminine. The feminine should just tolerate this or tolerate that. I had an instance with a call I had where, you know, he, you know, watched her as she plumbed in the dishwasher and installed this and painted the house while he sat there, you know, doing nothing on his computer playing games while she did all of the heavy lifting. And it really broke my heart when she said to me, you know, I was really trying to be feminine and playful and say, oh, painting is like, you know. And I thought to myself, this is the last time I'm going to have a woman try to convince herself that when she's in an abusive relationship, when she's in a relationship where she's not cherished, where a man is simply taking advantage of her, you know, living in her space, and, you know, she's doing all the heavy lifting and he just will not get up and be the masculine in her life, that she is also made to feel that she has to somehow concord femininity when she is being positioned in the masculine. You know, it's all about understanding the dynamics. And ladies, we must invest in education and learning. We really must. We cannot ingest stuff in the atmosphere, whatever is up. Oh, this femininity coach says you need to just focus on education. The feminine and masculine identities and ideas and concepts, they go way deeper. They're so deep subjects that have to be explored within a mindset for understanding. The Bible says, in all you're getting, get understanding. And we live in a world where we all seek out knowledge, but we don't seek out understanding. And understanding is a process of breaking down a concept right to its bone, so you can understand why the bones come first, then the muscles and the sinew, then the flesh, and then the, you know, the fat, you know, then the skin. You know, you need to understand why something is built a certain way. Otherwise, you're going to become fodder for manipulation. You're going to become fodder, you know. And I had to explain to this client that, look, there was no way of you actually being feminine in this relationship. You were the provider, the roof over his head. You were the protector. You were the one that cherished him and made sure that his world was perfect. You can't start from that position. It's about positioning yourself first and foremost. You know, it's about understanding the position that you need to take that promotes your femininity. Now, you cannot date a bully. You cannot date an arrogant man. You cannot date a man who is incapable of cherishing you. You cannot date a man that is incapable of providing for you, for protecting you, for cherishing you. Like he's incapable, he is unwilling, he is not able to really show up as a man and then attempt to be feminine. This is really signing yourself up for a codependent relationship. It is a movement where he gives and you receive and give back in appreciation. You cannot be in a relationship with somebody who yells at you, screams at you, is rude to you, is sarcastic to you, does not cherish your feelings, says what he wants to say, abandons you, leaves you to do stuff, is hot and cold, on and off, and then think, oh, Chengi, how can I deal with this in a feminine, high-value way? Wow. In this instance, the only feminine high-value way to deal with a bully or a person who is not showing up as masculine to you is to walk away. That is the only feminine thing you can do. You can't try to get a script or a way that you can talk to him that will make him be more masculine. This is not a masculine man. This is a bully. And much of the time, we have to sit through a lot of his, you know, it's like the information, the tidbits of information that a lot of people are running with and calling femininity, you know, has kind of landed into the wrong hands. And now, you know, you can't speak up anymore. We can always speak up. There is a way to speak up. There's a clear way to speak up where you respect yourself and your dignity. There is a way to address human beings, each other, in a loving way and to communicate with love. Yes, we must learn how to communicate in a high value way in general and especially in our relationships. But by no means do we get to say nothing. By no means do we get to just have to sit there and be told and treated badly and say nothing because we're trying to be the submissive feminine. Now, I've done videos on this channel about silence, but I want you to watch that video because it goes way deeper than just having a permissive silence. There is a permissive silence and there is a high value feminine silence. After you have made your request known, after you have made it clear, then we don't need to argue and fight. But so many of us have just a getting back into being a doormat, and we're using femininity as a principle and femininity as a concept to hide behind a lot of our own fears, to hide behind the truth that we're afraid of rejection, to hide behind the fact that if we ask for that which we want, need, or desire, we're going to be rejected. He's going to reject you. Now, I want to ask you, if you're so afraid of being rejected, then I've got to ask you, is this something coming from within you? Are there wounds that you need to heal, areas in your life that you really need to address? Or is it genuinely that he doesn't make you feel safe? The truth of the matter is, when you are in a relationship with a masculine man, the first thing you will feel is a deep sense of safety. You're going to feel emotionally safe. You're going to feel financially safe. You're going to feel his energy in your space is going to make you feel safe. You're never going to feel like you are unsafe in the company of a masculine energy man. Remember that masculine energy is loving. Masculine energy is cherishing, giving, very beautiful energy. That is why the mothering energy is masculine, because it's actually very, very nurturing energy. Yes, I know that the feminine also has an aspect of the nurturing, but masculine energy is very loving and very giving and very tender towards the feminine. So you need to understand this, because a lot of what has been defined as masculine is really just toxicity, is really just men who don't have a clear identity, men who have to yell at a woman to feel like they're being heard. A masculine man knows the authority that he carries within. He knows his power. He is in his power, so he never needs to shout. True authority is in many ways silent. True authority is quiet. True authority and true confidence never needs to barge through doors and be seen and heard. There's just something about a masculine man that he knows who he is, he knows what he's about, he knows what he has to give, and he knows who he is qualifying to be in his life. He doesn't tolerate, entertain any drama. He does not bring chaos into a woman's life. His life is ordered. His life is together. Whatever he has dignity around it. This is a masculine energy man. And a lot of us are just dating feminine men with big muscles and a hoarse voice and the attributes that may seem masculine but are feminine. And then these are the men that turn around and say to you, you need to be more feminine. Basically, they're saying you need to get better care of me, you need to protect me, you need to cherish me, and you need to provide for me. Ladies, we need to embrace the concept of education. And in a few days, you will be getting an invitation to join the Black Swan Nation. The Black Swan Nation is going to be one of the most important moves you will make this year in 2022. It's time to get educated. It's time for us to know what we know. It's time for us to really soak ourselves in understanding. I try and make sure I bring the best content here on this channel, and my coaches only ever bring the best, but there's some conversations that cannot be had on this platform. So I'm inviting you to keep your eye out for what's coming in the Black Swan Nation, to really decide that you're not going to be fodder out here. There is so much going on in the relationship and dating space, and it has become way more dangerous than it used to be. It is not a safe space for people who don't know what they're doing, or people who are not invested in the journey. It is so important that you invest in the journey. I have been doing this, and I've been in this business for many, many years, and I have seen the decay of humans as time has passed. I've seen voices being given and microphones being given to fools. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, I have seen slaves upon horses and kings on foot. you know, and he was sort of speaking of a prophecy. And I really feel that we are in that time where people who really truly have nothing of, who are toxic, who are controlling, who are narcissists, have finally found a place within the digital space to have a voice. And for some reason we are drawn to mess, we're drawn to toxicity. We're, you know, I watch, you know, some of these shows cringing how some women are actually prepared to aid, and you know, and it's not because I am judging them. I understand that we have broken ourselves down over time. We have reduced the value of the woman, and we have allowed that to happen as women, and we've allowed that to happen to us. I don't think that women are more liberated now. I think we get to make more money, run our businesses, become more successful, but I truly believe that we are more enslaved. We are not free, and certainly not in the relationship world. I see women, young girls, going onto these shows to be berated by low value men who claim to be high value because they're making money off YouTube and exploiting women. I see women calling into shows to get to be valued, to have a valuation on themselves, and this breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, but we do it and we run to it. And I know that none of my black swans entertain that foolishness. I know you don't, but it's really important that we are diligent about the content that we consume in 2022 and moving forward. We need to be diligent about what we submit our minds and our hearts to. We need to be diligent to learn and to understand, because you will be made a fool of, and you will run from pillar to post, and you will worship at the feet of a low value feminine guy who has nothing to offer or provide to you, and your life will fall apart. So I want you really to take this year seriously, your education seriously, and understand that if you feel bullied, if you feel you do not have a voice in a relationship, if a relationship is not a safe space for you to be you, I'm not talking about you to be cantankerous, you to be aggressive. If you've been on this channel long enough, you will understand how a high value feminine woman moves on the earth. I'm talking about you having a voice, making your needs known, and feeling safe that the needs that you need to articulate is not going to end up with you being rejected or abandoned. If you do not feel safe in a relationship, the answer is not to do more. The answer is not to break yourself down more under the banner of being feminine. The answer is not to sit back and just hope it comes together. The answer is to grow, is to understand what true femininity is. Because if you really, really understand what true femininity is, you will never, ever, ever entertain abuse, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, because the feminine woman knows she is in a feminine energy whenever she feels comfortable. The moment you start to feel uncomfortable, you're going to go into survival mode, and then you're going to function in your masculine energy. You must never entertain any kind of bullying. Never, ever. Take it out of your life. Get rid of it. It is not your relationship. It is not a safe space for you. And I want you, my black swans, to not only be safe, but I want you to thrive in love and romance. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Look out for that Black Swan Nation offer, and I will see you soon. In the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots.